Last month, we got word of a major shakeup in the property and casualty insurance business when Chubb Limited offered to buy Hartford Financial Services Group for $65 a share. The Hartford stock jumped nearly 20% overnight and stayed there even after management shot down Chubb's initial bid. Then last Thursday, when the Hartford reported an okay but not perfect quarter, they told us they'd shot down two more bids from Chubb, 67 and 70, and Chubb threw in the tap. Yet the Hartford stock refuses to come down. At 68 and change, it's actually rallied since we learned there was no deal in the works. What's going on here? Chubb's failed takeover bid waking up investors to the true value of this business? Let's think deeper with Christopher Swift. He's the chairman and CEO of the Hartford. Get a better sense of his vision and why he thinks his company's worth more as an independent entity. Mr. Swift, welcome to Mad Money.
It's great to be with you, Jim, on your program.
Well, I am thrilled that you're here. Let's just get this out of the way. The rationale for rejecting that Chubb offer?
Well, you know, the board looked at it with its advisors, its financial advisors and outside lawyers, and really reached the conclusion to reject it and really determined engaging in any future discussions just didn't make sense for shareholders in the long term, which then they added that they really have the confidence and conviction of the Hartford strategic business plan would create value for shareholders over a longer period of time. So I think we're sitting on a valuable franchise, Jim, that is executing well.
Well, I'm going to use different language because I know your company and I am a policyholder. But you might have to disclose that. But I think he was trying to steal the company. I see what's going on. I see what's going on with the buyback. I see what's going on with the cash. I see that the quarter had some one-time things, including a terrible incident with Boy Scouts that you had to pay. And what I've come up with is that you were about to have an earnings explosion from small and middle enterprises. Could I be right?
Yeah, I think you got it right. If I look at where we are today and where I see the future going, you can't help but be optimistic, Jim. I mean, the pandemic is beginning to recede. Deaths are coming down. The vaccination process is going relatively smoothly. And it all points to a recovery, particularly in small to mid-sized businesses where that's our sweet spot. So, and if I look at the strength of our businesses led by small commercial, which is the market leader in small business. If I look at our group benefits business, which is the number 2 player in life insurance and disability at the workplace. If I look at our middle market and global specialty businesses where they're competitive and a unique AARP offering where we offer to AARP members home and auto, I think the better days of the Hartford are really ahead of us, and we're going to grow faster than we have before. We're going to continue to improve margins, and we're going to buy back our shares, which we think is very accretive.
Now, Hartford Next, great cost reduction plan. But let me ask you the other side. Did you cut costs too much? I think you need more agents. I think you need more agents to handle the business.
Well, remember, the agency force is independent. So
right.
We do business with over 1,500 independent agents today. So I'm quite pleased with our agency force. But to answer your question, Jim, no, I don't think we've cut too far. We have a $625 million savings program, through 2023. It's probably 13, 14, 15% of our total expenses. We have been investing a lot in our businesses over the last 5 or 6 years, and we wanted to invest in some structural savings now. And I think it's prudent, and it's not cutting to the bone, Jim. It's not.
Okay, that's fair enough. Now, do you need interest rates to go higher in order to be able to have the big explosion in earnings?
Well, our explosion of earnings is going to come from a number of sources. One, our top line is going to grow. The pricing environment for our products is still conducive to expanding margins. We just talked about, Hartford Next. And I would say that the investment portfolio, as rates rise, and as long as they rise slowly and steadily, that will provide a little boost to our portfolio. But our first quarter investment portfolio performed very, very well, particularly led by our alternative investment asset classes, which is really private equity and some of our real estate holdings.
Okay, now one thing, we had a company called Metromile on. I'm a little concerned about these insurtechs picking off some of your businesses. You have that great deal with ARP for auto. But what do you deal with a company that just says, listen, you only have to pay by the mile? Is that something that you should be in? Is it something you're worried about?
I think it's one of those innovations that most carriers are exploring. We have our priorities right now, so it is on a future docket. But it is another way to interact with consumers and give them a product, that is basically on demand. We have a small little business called Y-Risk, that is in the on demand, more the commercial, side of insurance that we're experimenting in. So. I think it's on the future docket, but not currently for us right now.
I think the $2.5 billion buyback is a great investment up here. I want to thank you, Christopher Swift, Chairman and CEO of the Hartford, for coming on Mad Money.
Thank you.
Guys, inexpensive. I know these insurance companies are hard to understand, but this one is a play on the reopening of America and small to medium-sized business. That's how you have to think about it. Christopher Swift, Chairman and CEO of the Hartford, and Mad Money will be right back.